Am I introing again, or you want to give it a try, Charles?
No, I'm good. I'm just here.
Okay.
You should put that in. That was pretty good.
No, but it was so funny. I might. But one of my coworkers, like I said, they was listening to the first one. They said there at the end, you sounded like Morty.
Like Morty.
Yeah, you were. She said like it was like listening to Morty when you was talking about the pray about it thing.
Oh.
I'm like, I wouldn't have got that, but
Jeez, why
pretty
don't you
funny.
pray about it, Mom? You know, like.
Yeah, I guess because the adolescent's voice. I guess I can see it. No, I hear it and she said it. But I don't know if I'm keeping the beginning or not, so I'll go ahead and say welcome to the Holy Legion podcast. This week we have the Holy Goat.Z, of course, my co-host, and special guest, Mac Power.
Hello.
Mac Power, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
I am MacPower93 or Mike in real life, and that's it.
Well, now they're going to track you down and kill you now that they have
Yeah,
your
Mike,
name.
the most common name in America. Actually, fun fact: my girlfriend's
His
dad's
address
name is Mike,
is.
So yes. Wait, what?
We'll put his social security number in the credits. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll
comments
be
or
in there.
whatever
We'll
it is.
link in the description
One,
to
two,
his
three.
like Google location. No, but so we're having Mac on this week. I really like talking to him because no matter what I say, he's going to find a way to argue it and say that it is wrong. And I like people that go ahead and go against what I say, and we can have debates about.
No, you
things.
don't.
But
You do not like that.
but before we get into that, Charles, I believe you have a story.
I do.
Yeah, you said you was making a story for the podcast right before.
Oh,
we got
the
on.
fucking snake. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the snake.
So, like, I was late to the recording today because fucking. I came back from work, which, I mean, I got laid out of anyways because fuck that place. But I'm walking, and I didn't think about it till, like, after. But I ended up tripping because I was, like, hurrying inside, I want to get out of the heat. But I ended up tripping over something, I swear to God. Who was that fucking snake? There's a snake outside my door. I go inside, I get my dog, Odie, out of the pen. I'm like, you know what? Let's go on a walk, my dude. You probably got to take a real nice shit right about now. So we walk outside, and, like, I just casually walk out the front door, don't notice anything. And later, I'm trying to get him to come up the steps with me, and he's like, oh, fuck, no, I ain't having it, dude. He's like the leash is, like, pulled, no slack whatsoever. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with this dog? And I look up on the porch, there's a fucking snake sitting in front of the door. So, there was that. I don't know if it was like a rat snake or cottonmouth or whatever, but it doesn't really matter. I eventually got it out in the dumbest way possible.
And how's that?
I took a stick and I tried to scoop it, but it wasn't having it.
Mm.
And then the stick ended up getting like caught, and then you seen like my porch is made of like wood planks, so it got caught in between the wood planks and flexed. So I tried to pull it back out, and then it just kind of whipped, and the snake kind of flung back an extra 3 feet. And then it was like, you know what, fuck this. This guy's bringing sticks into this bitch. I'm out. And then it slithered out of the deck, But fuck snakes.
So, what you didn't know, I went ahead since you told me there's a story involving a snake. I got PETA on the other line. Just listening to the whole
Alright,
thing.
I snapped the snake's neck and ate it later. I didn't eat it for flavor. I just desecrated its body because I can't.
Did you perform oral sex on the snake? This will encourage Peter to take action.
You skull fuck it.
Nothing's wrong
skull
with this.
fucking.
You can't snap a snake's neck, and you cannot skull fuck a skullless being.
What?
I actually have no idea. I just made like a bunch of shit up.
I was getting ready to say, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure I've seen
I don't
a
know
snake's
about
skull
that.
before.
I'm gonna have to.
So,
I'm gonna pull up Google now so I can just actually like make sure I don't say stupid shit. It's like, hey, I actually got like, sources.
fact check yourself as you're
Snakes
speaking.
definitely have bones. I know that.
Does vaccines cause autism?
I have like 3 sources are
20
saying
reports
yes.
saying no, one saying yes.
Actually, I'm curious now. Yep,
Autism.
cause vaccines cause adults. First thing that comes up. I mean, kinda, sure.
That what puberty is? Just injecting a vaccine.
You just get a shot in there. Your voice starts right off the bat.
So Mac, I'm going to say that you need a new keyboard because whenever you're searching something, I should hear something like this.
No. Vaccines. Do vaccines cause autism? That's just okay. There's a lot of no. Okay, never mind. Wow, I was expecting something different.
Oh god, now we got the anti-vax on our asses. Every week we need to make a new enemy.
I mean, is it like
Yeah, the
I
first
don't know, like
5 things are just how it's a myth and debunked and shit. That's MMR.
Mac,
Sorry, go ahead.
the problem is you're using science.
You're right.
Gotta throw that out the window.
Obviously, yes. Anything that has any credibility.
we're millennials. We throw science and logic out the window as soon as we hear it.
I mean,
All we need is testosterone and vape juice.
and G Fuel.
We're alphas. We're all Chads here. No fucking betas.
I believe you.
Well, I should go into acting for a career then.
I'm easily influenced. I mean, it's not like shit. I'd probably join a cult if given the opportunity.
Well, this is the introduction to the
Oh
cult.
well, then yes, I saw.
You're on it.
Didn't we talk about a cult last time?
I think we've talked about a cult every episode.
I mean, if it looks like a cult and walks like a cult, then it's a
probably
baby
cult.
horse.
I
Oh
see what you did
shit!
there. Thinking man's joke right there. Whew.
Pull that one on you.
Took me a second.
Okay, next.
Yeah. I came unprepared this week. I had topics wrote down and I forgot them at my desk at work. Mac, you said you had one about weed.
Yes, I did. Okay, so fun fact:
Leave
you
it.
can't kill a snake by snapping its neck. So
Well, yeah, you
anyways,
grab by the tail and go Indiana Jones that bitch.
Tail whip that fucker.
There's actually like tips on how to do it too. That's very disturbing. Anyways, yeah, I was talking to my girlfriend at the time about whether or not smoking weed at work is good or not. Because she argued that it's the same thing like taking medicine. It helps with anxiety, depression, and other forms of issues, maybe seizures as well. I argued that it's not good because I can it with like A, it's illegal, and B, it's the same thing like drinking out. Like you don't get drunk at work. You're not supposed to at the very least. So it was kind of like one of those things where it's like I understand her side. I understand that it is very helps with a lot of issues, but at the same time, it affects your cognitive reasoning, and that can be bad in lots of work environments, depending on what you do.
So he already told me this before the podcast. I told him shut the fuck up and we're going to retell this on here. But so I've had time to think about it, and I pretty much knew my answer from the beginning. That no, you should not smoke weed at work because yeah, it totally fucks with your senses. You can't work stoned. I mean, there's some jobs you could probably get away with it. I can't. I've never stood up to a job.
There's a lot of jobs that I've gotten away with it,
but you're still not. You're still not. You shouldn't smoke.
Well, yeah,
weed
you
at
definitely
work.
shouldn't. But can
So
you?
it does have medical purpose. Yeah, so it still does have medical purposes, and I agree with her that it is something that there are elements of marijuana that you can take while you're at work, and that's why they have like the oils and stuff that they give kids, because the kids don't smoke weed. Children, they do not give marijuana to smoke and get high. They give them the oil that does not contain anything to get you high, but it still has all the medical benefits.
Yeah, and I agree that if they actually extracted the oils that kind of help with anxiety and the depression and whatever, that's great. Yeah, definitely take that over most medicines, really.
Yeah, it's CMD oil or
THC,
something like that.
or is that the one? Is that the part that gets you high?
No. THC is the part that
Okay,
gets
so
you
that's
high.
the part I care
THC
about.
is the part that
You
gets you
guys
high.
go on with the other stuff.
Why smoke it when you can inject it into your teeth, right? Like,
Oh,
obviously. Well, you weren't supposed to agree with me. You're probably not smoking weed if that's what you're doing. Like, it's probably not marijuana, but
I don't inject in my teeth. That's for damn sure.
you should probably see someone for that.
Yes.
Well, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I inject everything into my teeth.
Your dentist is really mad at you.
CBD. Okay, sorry, not CMD. CBD
Did
CMD.
you actually look this up?
oil.
Oh God, what the hell am I doing on YouTube?
Uh,
or doing on Google?
So yeah, I looked up CMD on this. You came up with Microsoft stuff, and I'm like, wait a second, that's
CMD,
a
dude.
program.
Fuck that. I want to like CMD. You're talking about these DCDB shit. I want to do some DMT.
CDB oil.
DMT.
The BLT? We're going
I want to see the ass of God. Like, I want to do some straight DMT.
I am now legit curious now.
I watched some like documentaries and shit, and one time there was an experience, but like some shit needs to go down.
So, Mac, you said weed's still illegal where you
Yeah,
live?
weed is in Iowa. Still very much illegal. Not even medically. You can't even buy it for medical reasons. It's illegal for that too. Iowa
Huh.
is.
We had medical passed a few years ago, and next year, starting January 1st, it's going to be legal for recreational.
I'm
Moved to Illinois.
fairly certain that the no, this is a little off topic, but kind of not. But I'm pretty sure it doesn't like the fucking Mexican government trying to get America to legalize all drugs with them. That way it ends the drug wars.
So, I haven't heard anything on that. I haven't looked it up because I haven't heard anything. I have heard talk though where different people have been saying something about all of them be legal. I mean, in all reality, the war on drugs has been proven to
Cause it.
lead more people to
Yeah.
do drugs than to steer them away.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you would still have laws like driving abuse, like all this stuff. Like think about it. Like honestly, you see someone on a like you hear someone doing meth in their basement or some shit. Like how does that affect you? As long as they're not killing
Yeah.
somebody, you know, freaking the fuck out, causing destruction. I don't know.
Yeah, as long as you're not harming anyone else, like intent to sell would probably still be a thing.
Yeah.
But like just dealing out to children and shit. But as long as you're not hurting anyone, I really don't have a problem with anything you do. Like just be a good person in general.
Yeah,
Who
you can
gives
kill
a
whoever
shit?
you want, just don't hurt them. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, no pain. Insta death.
So, related to what Charles just said, he's actually correct. Mexico proposes decriminalizing all drugs, working with the U.S. to curb deaths. That's
I
official.
mean,
Yeah.
really, how bad can that be? Like,
So I actually watched a thing on CNN a couple years ago about this, and one of the guys advocating for it made a really good point that it's the idea of it being a taboo or illegal or whatnot that kind of gives it that sense of wonder. If you legalize it, I mean, like, for example,
It's not going to be. Yeah, there's not going to be as much of a taboo around it. And like people aren't going to be like, "Oh, I'm fucking the system. I'm
yeah,
breaking the law." They're not going to have that sense of empowerment. It's going to take away some of the appeal to doing drugs.
I was gonna say a really good example of this is that I mean we're all here 21 or older. We can drink alcohol at any point in time at our wish, but how often do we drink alcohol? Like, is it like that big wonder when like we were younger and we drank versus now?
So when I was in high school, I got drunk a lot, and when I was right out of high school, before I was 21, I drank a lot. As soon as I hit 21, I started drinking a lot less.
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, a part of that may be because I wasn't in as many social situations where, hey, you're at a party. I kind of grew out of that
Yeah.
shit. But I mean, even I just sit around with my friends drinking a lot when I was a teenager. Like we just sit at the house fucking drinking. But nowadays, I haven't drank in months now. Probably. Well, no, I went bowling about a month back. I had a few drinks
Yeah.
then, but anymore, I really don't do much of it.
Oh yeah, that's like when I was in high school. I just kind of like I didn't really drink that much, but Jesus Christ, I smoked like I don't think there was a moment in high school I wasn't really high. But as soon as I graduated, it was just like, oh yeah,
Now, I will go ahead and say, I said it on the last
Disclaimer.
podcast. If you're underage, yeah, disclaimer, underage, it does actually fuck you up. Like memory, I have a shit memory, and it stems from that. Like getting high before you're fully developed really fucks up some chemicals in your brain.
yeah.
So don't recommend that. If it's legal where you're at, I mean, it's recreational. Fuck it. I
User
mean,
discretion.
I don't see
basically.
it any worse than drinking a beer.
Yeah, I did a lot worse in pot too when I was younger, and it.
Viewer discretion
Yeah, exactly. I just think if you get rid of the taboo, you get rid of the whole doing it because it's illegal. I think a lot of people are not going to.
Okay, are we still talking about drugs here?
Oh yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
we screwed. Yeah, kids, if you're listening,
This is going to be 60 minutes of why we think drugs should be legal.
That being
Anyways,
drugs should have a lot of like you know how like cigarettes now have the whole cancer kills and bullshit or whatever. I don't smoke, so I don't know. I think it.
Depends on which state or which country you're in. I think in America they just have the surgical general warning whatever on there. I haven't bought a pack of cigarettes in forever, But like in Australia or Japan and a lot of European countries, they put like a rotted lung on the package
Oh
just like to
shit!
discourage you. Yeah, they get graphic with it, and I really think that's not a bad idea.
It doesn't help though. I've been to Japan. They smoke like crazy. It doesn't exactly. Yeah, no, I've been to
Really?
Japan. There's literally areas where you can smoke, and it's packed full of people. And granted, Tokyo is a very big city, but still, it's like you got so many people stuck in this one spot, and it's just smoked up because that's the only spot in that street or part of town where you can smoke.
God, I fucking loves
So you've
Tokyo.
actually been
Yeah,
to
Tokyo,
Japan.
Japan. I was there for a couple days.
So that's something we can all talk about because me and Charles both really want to go visit Japan at
Mhm.
some point. You've been there apparently. Did you like it a lot? Like, what did you do there?
I went to Japan a few years ago. I actually don't remember when. I think it was like 20. And I loved it immensely. There are some things that definitely everybody should know going there. You will if they're not if and this is gonna sound kind of racist, but it's not. It's just kind of like a general thing. Japanese people are very friendly unless they're working, in which case they get really annoyed really quickly. And it's just more because you're kind of a nuisance. You don't speak the language unless you do, in which case, great. Uh,
Well, that should just be a common courtesy everywhere. Like they have a lot stricter on respect laws over there. Like not laws, but like just their respect for people is a much greater than America, where land of the free. Fuck you if you don't agree with me.
yeah, I was thinking more like
America.
there was this one time I was ordering McDonald's because I was just kind of walking around a lot and I was getting hungry and I didn't really want to stop anywhere, so just McDonald's wanted to try it out. And the dude there, I was trying to speak Japanese, but it was very broken, and he just got really annoying. He started speaking perfect English, the best English I heard the entire time I was there. And he was just like, "Dude, what do you want to eat? Come on, hurry up."
So at McDonald's, that makes a lot of sense because they Tokyo probably gets a shit ton of
Oh,
tourism. Uh,
tons.
so it makes a lot of sense. American type restaurant. I mean, it started in America. Like they probably picked up on it just because they do get so many. Like it's just familiar. Like, oh, this is a familiar place. I feel like I'm at home when people get homesick there or some sort of
Or they
shit.
just want to eat something
Or
that they're
people on
comfortable with.
business that aren't
It's
really.
actually
Yeah.
better. When I was there, it was like just the food is amazing.
That's because most of the food we serve in America is illegal in other countries because of all the shit we put into it, all the
Mhm.
preservatives and chemicals. Their food's always a much better standards quality.
Sorry, but yeah, no, definitely. I don't know. What else do you guys want to know about Japan? Ton of 7-Elevens.
I mean, no, like, what did you do? Like, which districts did you visit? Because I know Japan's separated out into a lot of districts.
Uh,
On which sites you're going to go see.
I stayed at the I think it was Kyo Plaza Hotel in Shinjuku District. Right across actually
Hmm.
from the Olympic area, kind of like where they had signs showing they were doing the 2020 Olympics.
Yeah.
Because they found out just before or whatever. And I visited Shibuya, Shinjuku, obviously. A couple other districts I cannot remember of. I was actually in downtown Tokyo, the metropolitan area of Tokyo. I went to Disneyland in Tokyo on accident. Don't go there. Yeah,
On
it was an
accident.
accident, and don't go there unless you actually can read kanji, because there's no romanji. Fun fact. Uh, thank God some guy was willing to help me actually find my train because I could not read anything for the life of me.
So always been my biggest worry about going to visit Japan because I want to learn Japanese and I want to learn kanji and all that. I don't have
Right.
the time right now. If I ever get time, I would like to learn. But I'm figuring by the time I go there, my wife wants to go there for one of our anniversaries. She wants to go to Okinawa. But I'm just worried. Like, I know it's another big tourist spot, so there's a lot of English things and attractions there. But it just worries me on, like, will we be able to figure shit out while we're there?
People are extremely friendly and helpful. And English is the second language of Japan. They actually teach in a lot of schools, so they know unless you go to McDonald's where they speak perfect English. And to this day, that still surprised me how that guy spoke like English like I would. It's just so insane.
So that's another thing that's not really brings me to wanting to go to Japan, but like just other countries that teach kids two languages. That's like it mandatory because it's like a huge language. English, a lot of schools just teach that standard, and where in America you take maybe 1 2 years of Spanish in high school as an elective.
Mhm.
I think it would be cool. Which I mean, we do speak the primary language that you're going to hear around here, so I guess I don't really know which one they would make a mandatory like second language.
Uh, they actually talked about it because everybody's heard about Puerto Rico, trying to become an actual 51 state, 51 state, 51st.
Mm-hmm.
But Puerto Rico speaks merely Spanish.
Yeah.
So they tried really hard to do that, and if they did, Spanish would actually, or United States of America would have Spanish as a second language because of Puerto Rico for the most part. That's why
Yeah.
a lot of politicians are kind of against it. I mean, Republicans, the Democrats are cool with it.
And I mean that leads into a big debate that a lot of people have that you don't speak our language, get out of our country. But that's a huge problem I have. Like because I mean, like you said, you went to Japan and they were super friendly. Like they spoke broken English and they were able to
Mhm.
help you out. I mean, tourists like just we're kind of a nation of immigrants, so I mean, tourism and having people here as our guests, like yes, speaking English unifies the country, and that is something that like I think everyone should know while they're here, and you should try to learn it. Just like I'd like to learn Japanese before I go to Japan, but like it's something that we should think in, like look into, like teaching kids other languages. I guess yeah, Spanish would be the main one because right south of us, that's what
Mhm.
everyone speaks.
Yeah, so like I guess I should like give a little disclaimer. I did know a lot of Japanese back when I went. I kind of forgot most of it
Mm,
because you don't speak it, you kind of lose it type thing.
yeah,
Uh, but when I went, I knew a lot of Japanese, but just not enough to speak it. Yeah, I mean, I could not read kanji for the life of me. I tried, but I just,
oh, that's a whole like art form aside
yeah,
from just
I can't
writing.
write it. I've tried it. I can barely read it, but like it's so confusing because everything looks very similar. If you're dyslexic, it's like
Hmm.
non-existent. You can't. You're not gonna get it right for the longest time.
So American.
I don't know. Yeah. If you ever go to Japan, anybody, it's a wonderful experience. I would definitely recommend it in a heartbeat. Just be prepared that people who are working are just understand that they like seem annoyed, and they probably are, but they're doing their best with, and they're just you know they
Be
yeah.
respectful, just that in general. I mean, that's learn respect. That's I watch a lot of Joey, the anime man, and he talks about like if you want to go to Japan and what you should do there. And I mean, that was his biggest point: courtesy and being not a dick into the native people because I mean, hey, you don't know their
Yeah.
culture. Like, and that's the biggest thing is respect is one of the biggest thing he always preaches for over there is you got to be respectful to everyone.
You're gonna hear a lot of sumimasen constantly for like the dumbest reasons. Uh, Beautiful country though. But yeah,
So I can't remember. You like anime and
yeah,
shit,
yeah,
right?
definitely.
So you weebed out over there. I'm guessing went to the
No. Surprisingly
no, you
enough,
didn't.
there's not a ton of at least like where I was trying to like look, I was trying to find some Pokemon stuff because I went to Japan and a lot of my friends and family wanted Pokemon because Pokemon's here in huge in America and in Japan. I could not for the life of me find any Pokemon stuff. I found One Piece, other
So
stuff.
that most mainstream anime over here, like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z,
Mhm.
are not big in Japan because it just dies off. Like, because it's like 16 seasons in, and they're like, okay, this was something really great, and we still respect it, and it was really good, but they move on quicker than what we do.
Anime in general is not that big. They love soap operas over there.
It's a lot more mainstream than it is in other countries. There's a whole district in Tokyo. I don't remember the name of it. And if I did, I'd probably mispronounce it. But there's like a whole district dedicated to it. It's just the anime community. They call them otakus, and they take it a literal definition over there. Like they are shut-ins and they don't talk to people, so you don't see them much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess like there's just if you're going there just for like anime stuff, just go to that one district that he mentioned. And
That I don't know the name to.
I'm actually gonna look it up. I think it's in Shinjuku, but
Akabahara. I'm pretty sure.
Akabahara.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the district. Like I said, I'm probably mispronouncing it. Akihabara.
Somebody somewhere is probably gonna know exactly that we're retarded and stupid and don't know. Oh wow, maybe I stayed in.
No, once I seen it, like once I seen the name, I recognized it. I just can't remember off the top of my head. I'm
Uh,
fairly certain that is the actual district.
Shinjuku Shibuya, and I stayed in Shinjuku district because that's the business district. Or maybe I just haven't been there forever and I don't remember anything.
Yeah, here, Akabahara, nicknamed the Electric Town of Tokyo, is the undisputed center of anime culture in Japan. So yeah, I had that
Yeah,
right.
okay, yeah, okay. So I was not there. I was one of the places I didn't go see, and I should have.
Yeah, that's like the district that I want to hit up one of them. I want to check out all of Japan because they just got a really neat culture and background. But we've spent like 15 minutes talking about Japan now. We can move on. I'm playing good games lately, aside from,
Smite.
our main. Yeah,
Oh shit, I play Rocket League a lot, but that's pretty much it.
haven't checked out any new game titles lately. Any movies?
Uh, Pokemon or Detective Pikachu.
Wow. De- Detective Pikachu. I haven't seen that yet. Is it actually good? I haven't heard many people actually talk about it.
It's
I wouldn't watch it again, but it wasn't bad. I feel like it was for kids.
Yeah, that's kind of the feel I've had about it the whole time.
yeah. I mean, I
I'm like, they threw Ryan Reynolds in there just to get like our generation, like, oh, I'm probably gonna go see that. But just the general concept and like the trailers I've seen, like everything, it seems like it's very kid based movie.
Well, I like knew the plot before I even.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like one of those type of movies.
the ending actually got me though. I did not expect the ending too much.
I don't know how you did not though. Like, how
Oh,
could you not
like-
expect that ending?
Being I mean, spoilers, I guess, for anybody not knowing, but like Ryan Reynolds being inside the Pikachu, being the dad, that kind of threw me off. I was
Well, the
expecting.
entire time it would show the dad's body. It wouldn't show you his, but you could tell that he was white.
I honestly thought they were going to show his body at all, ever. I thought he was dead. That was my thought process.
Like, I thought, it's like every time they did that, I was just like, even before watching, I was like, how the Pikachu losses. That was all you needed.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was kind of my assumption. I haven't seen it yet, so
Like, oh, Pikachu doesn't remember where he's at. His dad died. Huh? You saw Mewtwo. I mean, like,
But I didn't know you could put people in Pokemon. Seems kind of weird.
I was just depressed.
I don't know. It was a good movie. I liked it. But I guess I'm kind of with Charles. It's not something you'd watch again.
yeah. I watched a good one lately. It was actually an anime movie. It was called When the Promised Flower Bloomed. So that movie I watched with my wife, and we had opposite opinions on watching that because I mean, we just had our baby and everything a while back, and I was under the full belief that if you have a kid, that is the perfect time to watch that because that's the only way you're going to get the true emotional response the movie goes for. Like it pulls out of you. And she said she would never recommend that to someone that's had a child.
Does the child die?
I mean, not necessarily. I don't want to ruin the whole movie. I think you may have actually seen it and told me about it a long time ago. I just didn't recognize it. It's about the people up in the heavens that can't die, pretty much. And she goes down to Earth, gets sent down to Earth. You may have been watching a different show.
Yeah.
It may have been a show that you was talking about at that time. But I know, like, when we first started, like, when we first met, you was telling me about a show where people couldn't pretty much die unless they...
Oh god, what's that show
Wanted
called? I
to.
know what you're talking about. I don't remember what that show's called.
Okay, so it was actually a TV show?
It's a TV show, not a
Or-
movie. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is a movie that followed a similar premise. And let's just say, pretty much she can't age. She's 13 years old. Like, she's actually 13 years old, 14, whatever. Can't age. But she falls down to Earth, and she finds a baby in a dead mother's arms. And the movie proceeds from there. You can probably guess the outcome. But the movie does, like, a really good job at, like, captivating you and, like, really involving you in the story, and it doesn't follow like the necessarily like a full plot where you know exactly what's going to happen. You can predict the ending pretty easy, but it's more about the ride there than the actual ending. And I think that's a beautiful movie, and I'd recommend it to most people.
So I watched this movie. I don't remember what it was called, but like this guy raped this other guy's daughter, and then that other guy abducted the rapist guy, forced him to undergo surgery, made him think he was the killed and raped daughter, and then raped
I
him,
know what movie you're talking
and
about.
then raped him and video recorded it.
I can't think of the name either, but yeah, I know
It
what
was
movie
so
you're talking
fucked up.
about.
And there's another one I watched where this guy, like, there's a huge plot hole. Don't get me wrong, but this chick, right, meets this guy, fucks said guy, gets pregnant by said guy, has the kid, leaves the kid on a doorstep of an orphanage. I don't remember if she found a time machine or what, but somehow goes back in time, gets a sex change, meets this girl. Girl happens to be herself, has sex with herself, gets herself pregnant, leaves, goes back in time again to see who left her dropped off at the orphanage, and found out the baby that she had was herself, and she dropped herself off at the orphanage.
So she
Roll
was
credits.
both her own mother and father.
Yes, and child. Like, there's a huge plot hole there. Like, how the fuck did she come to existence in the first place? But
I mean, that would just be a time paradox.
Yeah.
Where it just infinitely goes in that own loop. But yeah, that's quite the story right there.
Okay. I'm sorry, but that was God, that's an interesting movie.
that's what you get when you
So
type
that-
in the most fucked up movies of 2019.
I was getting ready to say, I don't know if we've ever actually asked you, are you like us and just Google the most fucked up movie you can watch and watch whatever the top recommendations are?
Anime works too.
I
Yeah.
have watched. Yeah, I've done that before, and I stopped after somebody mentioned or said this movie, and I don't recommend anybody ever watch this. Just read it.
What was it called?
I think it was Serbian film.
Oh yeah,
Film.
Oh yeah, the Serbian
that was
film.
great. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck, that was so bad.
Totally recommend watching it.
No, God, no. I
Don't
just
listen
read
to
it,
Mac.
and I was like, no, fuck no, nope. That was way too much rape.
What? You read it. You gotta watch it so you get the shock factor.
No.
Yeah.
I just
So I'm gonna chop this up and edit it to where we have Mac's official endorsement. Watch this
Oh,
movie, the
God.
Serbian film.
I would very much recommend that. God, it's such like I just read it and it was horrible. I mean, like that's just fucked up. I mean, like I like watching fucked up shit, but that was just
I don't think Stokes ever actually watched it. Don't ruin the ending because
what ending? I mean, it's just basically a continuation of everything else.
no. There's an ending.
Well, I know that I've read it, but I've read like the entire synopsis of it from like beginning to
That
end, and it's I don't know how
fucking
to watch it.
ending, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like, that's how you know a movie has no bounds. Like,
I think the skull fuck, an actual skull fuck, was the no bounds or the infant part.
yeah, I was gonna say not that one.
So I pretty much know the whole premise of the movie. I haven't actually seen it yet. I always had it on my list, but it was one of those that I just never got around to. Because I used to watch all my most fucked up movies with Charles. Like, it was our thing that we did together when we actually lived close enough to hang out in person a lot. Then I got married and had a kid, and harder to find.
Like, I
something
don't
close to
recommend
like
it, but since I don't recommend it, that means I recommend it. You feel me?
that. Yeah. It's got the Holy Legion official not recommended recommended.
Yeah, the official stamp of fucked up. You know, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The holy official stamp that marks it as you will be a different person by the end of
it's
it.
got a good, like, it makes you, it's one of those movies that you know is good in the shock area because you
Oh,
just
yeah.
feel dirty afterwards. You're just like, I need to go to hell. Like, I need to go to hell just so I feel good about myself. Like, I need
Bleach
to
your eyes
wash
out.
my soul. Yeah.
I mean, God.
And those are the two type of movies. So the movie I described and the movie that how Charles described. There's two types of movies I like. I either like one that makes me wish I was dead because I'm so sad and depressed because it's so touching, or one that I wish I was dead because I'm a filthy whore.
I like ones
Like,
that make
just
me like,
mentally disturbs you.
I don't
and,
know.
like fucked up movies.
I raped myself.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what
Yeah.
happens. I like watching fucked up movies, but I don't like rape, and that movie is pure rape. It's just nonstop rapes, and there's murder there too, but it's rape murder.
Rape murder.
Literally. Okay, explain to me how he kills a guy.
That's gonna be like my band name now. Like, you gonna start a metal band, call it Rape Murder? We're hard as fuck, dude. Look how edgy I am.
Yeah, pretty much.
Rape
He
murder.
literally kills
You know?
somebody. I mean, you mind if I explain this one part, but like, Spoiler for anybody that does watch it. He kills somebody by literally shoving his cock into the guy's open eye socket and kills him by fucking his brain.
Wait, you're telling me you've never killed someone that way?
I've never. What? I,
Uh,
nah, it's just
oh shit.
that, like reading that. It's like even the murder's rape. What the fuck? Like I just can't. Well, I don't like. I can handle certain stuff if it's limited, but that's just pure constant.
I mean, but think about the bragging rights. You could literally say, "I killed somebody with my cock."
No, not for long.
Dude, like, I don't know. Like, I don't understand why people flipped out over like Goblin Slayer.
Oh, I love Goblin.
It wasn't
Slayer.
bad. Like, it wasn't bad anime. But I mean, like, people were like, "Oh my god, it's so fucked up." I was like, "Not really."
Probably the
Like,
first
it's
episode.
not-
So I got like you had 50% of them that were against it that said, "Oh, this is a piece of shit because it's so graphic and they didn't need to do that." But they kind of didn't to set the atmosphere.
Well, yeah, but
It
I
was
mean,
kind
like,
of a necessary plot element.
let's just take that scene though and compare it to like my favorite anime, Future Diary. That scene in there, I feel like that one had so much. Future Diary, like, it was actually touching. Like, she was gonna lose everything.
Yeah.
But like that other bitch was just gonna die and get raped. I mean, that sounds a lot worse than it is. But you know,
Well, I mean, but like, I wasn't saying that like the whole scene was emotional, but it just set the
Well, yeah.
grounds for what that world is.
Yeah.
Like, it was a necessary plot premise. Like, it kind of built on what the show was about. And then, but the other half of people that said they didn't like it said there was no character development in the main character, which there was some. I'm not going to say it's like the greatest character development in the history of shows. There was some there. But the thing is, you didn't watch the show because you wanted to see him grow into, I don't want to kill goblins. No, you watched it because he's just fucking batshit crazy killing goblins. Like that's where the whole show stands.
That's literally the title of the whole the show. Just Goblin Slayer.
I don't know.
Yeah. They're going to come out with a movie here soon.
I liked
Looking
it
forward
just
to that.
because there was nothing special about him. That's why I liked it.
Kind of reminds me of Berserk almost.
I fucking love that.
I
wish
do
they'd.
too.
I'd wish they'd like finished it out.
The guy who writes the manga, is on hiatus still again, so there's no guarantee it's ever gonna finish. It's a really cool idea. I love the world and everything. But I don't think it's ever gonna finish. If you want to talk about really graphic shit that's kind of fucked up, that's the thing to go for. Berserk.
No, very Berserk.
Yeah, Berserk's kind of. I mean, it's mild.
I mean, there's like, okay, I don't know. I kind of related to the main character, and I kind of felt his pain when he raped, and he had like his eye gouged out, and then he cut off his arm.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah, that's
that
like,
wasn't that bad. Like, I don't know. Like, there wasn't. I feel like that's the thing though. We're different people, so like, I feel like your thing is physical. Like, things that bug you is like physical torment, where for me it's mental torment. I get a kick out of
Yeah,
mental
I
torment.
guess so.
It
I guess
sounds a
more
lot more
like-
like sadistic than it's supposed to, but
And then I'm the third party
intrigued
where
by
I
it,
like
but it doesn't really
emotional,
affect me
which
that
I mean
much.
close to mental, but
yeah,
I
it's
think
close.
they can
It's
be separated
close.
out a
Yeah.
little bit. They're really close and they intertwine in certain spots, but they kind of take a different path.
Like, I feel like yours would be like, oh, someone loses a kid and makes them think it was their fault. Mine would be
Yeah,
more
and
like
then-
they lose that kid on a loop for 1,000 years straight.
You guys like cut up for the longest time, but yeah, no.
Yeah, we've noticed that with
So anal,
Discord
oh.
while we're running Audacity. Yeah, but we was talking about anal. How you feel about that?
Like having it being done to you or doing it in general?
Both.
I mean,
Sure.
to each your own. Right? I mean,
Sure. Okay, so I'll be over tonight.
Yeah, you drove 6 hours to come see me, and I will greet you with open arms and a wide ass. Anyways,
don't tempt me.
Want to make a road trip, Charles? Is that a two-for offer? Can we have a threesome here?
I'm just gonna have to turn that down because I can only take so much punishing.
But no, how you feel about anal? You like sticking in a stinky hole?
Not particularly because I have really one bad experience, and it's kind of like, yeah, no. If I put it in the vagina, it doesn't shit on me, so.
So, I mean, it's not really the dirty factor that ruins it for me. I mean, I've been told by everyone I'm wrong, but I think it's just my massive cock that is the problem. It is, there's not enough space to go in.
It is wrong because I'm fairly certain your ass can like expand farther than like vagina. does.
I've literally seen a woman shove a baseball bat up her ass once. I've
Doesn't
been on the
pres-
weird side of Pornhub. I know these things.
Yeah, but they can shoot a whole fucking living being out their vagina.
That's true. They can do a lot of things. I don't know. I just
I don't know. I've never had a good experience on there being enough space, so that's where my stance is.
there's two good holes that I like, and that's pretty much it.
I mean, I just
The
fuck,
armpit and the nose.
like you
No,
fuck
the
me,
eye. The
dude.
eye. Skull
You
fucking.
know, you
Yeah.
guys are still on that.
On it, I'm in it.
Oh no, there you go. I feel so sorry.
Right now, I'm just kind of slapping it, making it feel dirty.
What the fuck is happening?
Don't
What? Just what the fuck is happening?
like
Like that's what everybody's gonna. This is why people just gonna leave. They're just gonna be like, no.
What are you like?
I see. I oppose that. I think
Podcast
this is
challenge.
why
Listen
people
to the
are
rest of
gonna
your
stay.
podcast with either your pastor or your mom.
But
You
see,
gotta go
that's
back a little
not
bit. Go
the
back.
peop-
Just watch.
That's not the type of people we want listening to the podcast.
People that get off.
I
on
believe
this.
we're going to pick up on those people.
Oh, that's
that,
offensive. No Christians, guys.
I
No
mean, there's
mom.
the
We're
priests.
sexist.
Let's talk about raping little children. All right, let's get the priest back on. All right, let's talk about those cute little boys.
So we're talking about pedophiles now.
Yes. No. We're gonna go talk about politics. Want to get?
Well,
like,
if we're talking about
Wait, you just hopped from pedophile, like religion, to pedophile to politics, and I'm not seeing the link between the last two.
really?
Yeah, 'cause
The
you said
Antichrist.
raping children, little boys, and
Yeah.
then like it hooks into the Catholics, and then you're saying that there's politics. I'm not seeing the politics. Where was the link?
well,
I
from
missed it.
Catholic to little boy, I can see.
Yeah.
Maybe like is the Pope Catholic? Because he also has a part in politics.
Yes, he's kind of
So,
the Pope of the
The
Catholic.
Catholic
people.
Pope raped a little boy politician.
Oh, so the little boy's a politician.
The son of a
Ah,
politician, which means
see,
the politicians got involved, and his old ass banned the Catholic Church.
Yeah, millennials.
Yep, let's go back to the 16th century, guys. Or what's his name? Martin Luther. Yeah, Martin Luther is just starting his own religion to fuck the Catholic Church.
Oh, okay. I thought you was talking about Martin Luther King. I'm like, he's getting
That's what I was
open
thinking.
a whole new can of worms.
Yeah, no.
I was scared. Like even me.
I
like,
still like.
I was like, whoo.
I was
Uh,
I was trying to connect the dots for a second. I was like, what?
Yeah, I didn't know you was talking about Lutheran church. Okay.
Yeah, Martin Luther. He's literally the father of Lutheran Church Protestants. And they say he's a father. There's a lot of people that are kind of doing the same thing. I was watching a lot of Crash Course history, so I like learning that about history. So that's kind of the thing I was doing.
I watched some of those crash course videos only because my psychology teacher in college like used him as an example, and that guy is so fucking corny.
Which
Martin
one?
Luther King? Yeah, no. I'm just joking.
No, the crash course guy.
There's several of them though. Like there's one for history, one for science, one for psychology, one for literature, one for.
I guess you probably fall under science for psychology. I don't know. I've only seen one guy in all the videos she showed us.
Yeah.
The only
the
guy
history
for
ones.
science I trust is Bill Nye, the science.
I don't know. Lately, he's been saying there's more than one gender, one sex.
Never mind, Bill Nye's dead to me.
I was going to say, not necessarily for that, but I am not a fan of Bill Nye. Pretty much like all the stuff he's been preaching here lately, and even before that, like they've been going way back on it, and they can't scientifically prove. Like they've put teams of researchers for years now, trying to prove some of the things he said, and they've given up. They're like, we cannot make that connection. We can't make what you say.
I'll be honest, I have no idea what Bill Nye looks like, what he sounds like. I don't even know who Bill Nye is. I just know he's the science guy.
So
Yeah.
There's
There's
my whole plot.
there was one thing that kind of really pissed me off that he did because I liked Bill Nye up until that point. Bill Nye and another scientist, can't remember his name. Something. He was one of the guys who was advocating for the Earth being only 6,000 years old, where Bill Nye was advocating for it being 4 billion years old. Obviously, Bill Nye was the more credible person because a lot of it was what ifs with the other guy. But the way Bill Nye did it kind of pissed me off because he was just being a dick. Like the other guy was at least somewhat like, respectful and everything. Bill Nye's just like fuck you type thing. And it's like this is a
Bill Nye has got a fucking soapbox, and he thinks he's untouchable.
Yeah, that.
Stephen Hawking,
Uh,
man, he was it.
yeah.
I love science. Used wanted to be a theoretical physicist myself, but there's way to present science and not be a dick about it, and he's not doing it. Look at Neil deGrasse Tyson; he does an amazing job of it, but
So
he's not a dick.
Oh my God, you like Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah,
don't even know
love
who
it.
that is.
Oh my God, no.
Don't even know
No.
who that is.
He's
He is another person on a soapbox that he. Have you ever looked at his Twitter?
I have
Let
not
me
looked at
ask
his Twitter
that.
though.
I've
So
never even been
I
on
guess
Twitter.
I've only watched like some of his
Okay.
videos and stuff, and I agree with a lot of
I'm
what he
not saying
says.
he's not a smart man, but if you look at his Twitter, I cannot stand him just as a human being.
I guess I haven't.
He's always posting like these really just like a fucking I want to say some spiritual girl, you know, the girls that I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. Like just some really out there
Wait,
fucking
what?
you're on drugs to be just saying these stupid fucking things.
You know what? There's only one man in this world that should lead our country. That's Tom Cruise.
Yep, Scientology #1.
Did you I don't know if this was just a rumor or not, but I heard he was actually trying to get out of Scientology.
I heard that rumor too. I don't know if like it's a rumor. You can't tell if it's true, but I heard that too. So
Don't talk shit about Z.
Well, I've heard that it's more than just the cult that we thought it was. Like all of Hollywood, they peer pressure you into being a part of it.
so I don't like Scientology because of the way they take criticism, and then like I try to keep an open mind about a lot of things, and so I looked up Scientology, kind of looked at them, kind of like both sides, and really, their shit's stupid. But I was like, okay, whatever, it's just stupid religion. I don't really care. But the way,
And not the fact that you have to pay like $50,000. Like that's not exaggeration. Like $50,000 before you're
even really,
like an accepted like full member.
yeah,
My problem is it just really seems far
uh,
fetched. I mean,
I,
and granted, Christianity is far fetched too. Be mad at me if you will. Everything's fucking far fetched.
well,
What is your guys' take on religion?
My take on
Like,
religion
what like
is
as in
that
what do you believe? What do you think is like most
so
credible? What's your
I
thought?
believe that there's probably something. I'm not something because I believe like that the world did kind of evolve itself and kind of form itself in a way. But I believe that there was probably something out there that kind of guided it and pushed it. I think what most people call me, like when I describe myself, is agnostic. I really don't know. I believe that there might be something, maybe not. I like looking at a bunch of different theories. Like there's one theory that there's this chemical in your brain that we don't know what it is really. No matter how much we studied it, we can't figure out what it is. But the only other place we can find it is like way out in space. And it's basically their theory is that we're a part of a huge network. And when we die, the information just kind of gets sent out into the universe because that chemical like erodes instantly when you die, some sort of shit. I think that's a neat theory. I'm not going to say that that is like what I believe. I believe that there's a bunch of possibilities, and if there is a God, hopefully he's a just one, and that just fucking if you're a good person, you've done your life right.
Yeah, dude, you're agnostic
that
as fuck.
that that's my religion is be a good person. Who gives a fuck about the rest?
Like literally, look up the definition of agnostic right now.
yeah. I didn't want to say, but you are agnostic. Like everybody says that
Yeah,
because you are.
yeah, you're
Um,
agnostic as
I've never actually. I mean, I've looked into actual religions. I've never looked into that one because I've looked into Satanism. That's pretty cool and chill. Like if you actually look at their real views, like they got some real. Like I really like Satanism for their viewpoints.
Thank
I
you.
don't.
it's
Which that's what's weird about like so Danielle's little sister, my girlfriend. I don't give a shit, but her little sister came over for a few days, and like her and her whole family are like super Christian. And I've come to the terms. I'm pretty certain. Like I'm fairly certain the whole Satanism thing is kind of what I side with most. Otherwise, yeah, I'm probably agnostic too. But when I bring that up around them, they just like you go from like, oh, you like they love you like family to just you unspeakable monster. And it's funny, and like half of it's because like just like everybody else, they don't actually research what it is. So they think I'm out like slaying goats and fucking babies and shit, and like it's like guys, listen, okay,
Which that's not
Guys, I
Satanism.
like
That's
watching
that's
that, not
not
doing
what this
that.
is.
like some cultic shit.
I mean, I
That's
do
not
that,
actually
but that's
Satanism.
not because of my religion, you know. Like no disclaimer.
Disclaimer: He doesn't actually rape little children.
It's disclaimer. I don't know what disclaimer means.
No, I did just look up agnostic, and yeah, that's
Pretty much sums it
Yeah.
up.
I guess I differ from you two, as I am an atheist. I don't really. I just believe in more.
Get off my podcast. This is a Christian channel.
It's an
Yeah, did
agnostic
you see our
channel, you
fucking
just-
logo or whatever it is?
Did.
Cover art? Our cover art you made, dude. It looks gospel as hell.
Dude, you've what you gave me, what we've always talked about, the Holy Legion being, that is it.
What?
That's it right there.
Just a disclaimer to everybody: if you see
Like
this,
what you told me you were going to make, like if you get your editing software
Oh
going.
yeah, I just see
What
that.
you told me you were going to make, it's a simpler version of that.
Okay, so I'm gonna make it right. Like that, I've always been bad at explaining what I'm picturing. Okay, that's why I have such time like writing stories and talking about stuff like that. So I'm just gonna make it at one point, and you're gonna understand. You're gonna like oh,
I
because
fucked up.
I mean, even
Yours
if I
works.
didn't pick up on what you're saying, the mine is what I kind of see, like, because we're not a cult. Disclaimer.
or not.
But we're like the Holy Legion, and we're gods. We're above normal people.
We're not a cult. Well, shit, I'm out. You know,
Oh,
we
are a cult. Disclaimer.
like
Use
wait.
that in whatever context you want.
See, I don't want to be the cult though. I want to be the cult that the God worship. You know, that shit. Yeah, you know what? I'll stick with it. That the gods worship. We're above the gods. No.
Yeah,
I
that's where you get the fucking logo I made.
So before like we actually like continue, I want to like do a huge disclaimer. Yes, I'm atheist, but also at the same time, I for the longest time tried to prove that God doesn't exist, and I can't. So my idea is that uh it any religion could be absolutely correct because there's no way to prove or disprove. This is more of a belief system, and I just can't bring myself to believe in something that I have no proof type thing.
You know, I think I've told you before, but there's like a bunch of big scientists. I'm not trying to convince you to go Christianity because, like I said, I'm not really Christian myself. But like before they died, like, and this was before they was like on their deathbed, but they write papers and they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm Christian because 1 in a million chance that I'm right. But if I'm right, I go to heaven. If I'm wrong, nothing happens. I'm just nothing."
The
But if I
problem
don't
with that,
believe-
though,
That's not true belief.
it's not true belief. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the problem.
That's
Yeah,
people tell me that I'm Christian because I don't want to go to hell. That's not really believing. You gotta actually believe in
no.
the actual like God. When I really was Christian, I actually believed in Jesus and everything.
And a big thing about like our generation, there are a lot more agnostic and atheist people because generations before us were told things and they weren't allowed to question. Where our generation has started to be like, why?
Yeah.
That's why I didn't get along in churches. Like, if a church would have sat there and discussed things with me, I was super religious for a while because I had a youth minister that would discuss things with me. Then he left, and I was left with just regular church people. And when you'd ask a question, they'd look at you like, you're going to hell because you're questioning God. Like, why would God give me a brain to be able to have free will and think if he didn't want me to question?
I honestly believe, if like what you said earlier, you had a minister or a pastor that was actually answered your questions and was like understanding of curiosity, which is very common with children at a young
So one
age.
that won't like scrutinize you and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I actually know one if you ever want to talk to him and you're down.
I had a minister who was the complete opposite. Like he would, I asked him one time where God came from, and he's like, "He was just always there. Stop asking." And,
Yeah, see.
Oh, like I said, that's what I was left with after that guy
Yeah.
left.
like this is a horrible way to explain it because like that kind of ensuring kind of started the slope of just me not becoming Christian, becoming a douchebag
That's
atheist.
why I did kind of like though about so we have like back when my parents like forced me to go in church and everything like that was we actually did luckily I had like a really good pastor and everything like he was open to so many like questions and he would do his best to answer or help you find an answer and then if he couldn't find an answer or help you he would literally go home and find it for you the next Sunday you went but like and the thing I liked about him was like, so you know how there's stories of the Bible pretty much everybody knows. Atheists never touched a Bible, never read a Bible, never been to church. They still pretty much know it. A good one's Noah and the Ark, Adam and Eve. Granted, some people don't know these things, but you know it doesn't take a fucking scientist to know this shit. It doesn't take someone that's fucking studied religion, a theologist, anything. Theologist, I don't even know. But
Yeah, theologist.
like but one thing I did like about that guy is he would on like his sermons and stuff like he would bring up stuff that like nobody talks about like the Leviathan, the books of Enoch, like all the weird shit people ignore, and I thought it was badass. Like,
Yeah, then when they'll actually sit down and talk with you, it makes it easier for you to kind of try and believe. When they just tell you you're supposed to believe something, if you're not a follower, just like a mindless sheep, and I mean that kind of relates to why they're the shepherd and the sheep, the churches.
that's why I'm called the goat.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're not just a sheep, then you're going to think, and it's going to make you break away from them if they're just telling you to believe something without any way of questioning it.
Yeah. Honestly, that's a really good way to just make anybody believe in anything is just by explaining stuff. Also, fun fact: I was watching a thing on the History Channel one time, and it was explained, and they said something really interesting that I don't entirely truly believe, but it's what it is that Jesus Christ was actually a leader of a cult, and his religion became like the biggest religion in the world, and how that happened and why are other cults different.
I mean, yeah, it's a way of looking at it because I mean, at this point, I think they've pretty much proven that Jesus Christ was a real
Oh
person.
yeah,
They're like not necessarily all the stories in the Bible, but he was a real person that existed. And I mean, if you don't believe in Christianity, it kind of is just a cult. I mean, there's the thin line on what separates religion from a cult.
yeah. But I always think like, cause the cults they explained were like, God, what was the cult that killed itself to try to go to a spaceship?
I know what you're
So
talking about.
I
Fuck.
don't remember what it's called though, and it's gonna piss me off. It's like something Apple or something like that, or fuck. I got Google here. God damn it.
Yeah, they all thought they were gonna freaking rock it out. Heaven's Gate.
Yes, Heaven's Gate.
Oh, yeah, now I know what you're talking about.
Sure, it was Heaven's Gate.
Yeah, let me look it up real quick. I got like
Yeah,
famous cults on here. Jamestown.
Sounds right, but it feels like it's too like
It was
too
Heaven's
easy.
Gate.
You know what I mean? Was it? Shit.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
was-
Cool.
Heaven's Gate, yeah.
Just I guess Jim Jones was a cult leader too. But yeah, Heaven's Gate was the cult.
Dude, you can watch videos like 5 minutes before they died of them like basically saying goodbye to everybody and stuff.
Oh yeah, the people Jones cult, and they all killed themselves. The Davidans, which was the Waco, Texas thing.
Like I don't know. I feel like that's the problem. Like it sounds bad.
Yep.
Sounds bad. Like this is gonna sound insulting. I don't give a fuck if this insults you or you get uptight and butthurt about this. You're probably listening to the wrong podcast. But I feel like it takes a really dumb motherfucker to fall into a cult that does shit like that. You know what I mean? Like gets to that point. Unless they were like physically forced into it, you know. But like
Yeah, like if you was a child born into it and that's the only
yeah,
thing you was
like
ever
you know,
told. But even like a lot of children figure it out and they're like, yeah, I knew something was wrong if they survived and got out of it. Even a lot of children are like, I knew something was wrong even then. So, I mean, you're not wrong. It takes some not mentally healthy.
like if people are like, yo, drink this shit, die with me, and go to a spaceship, I'm probably gonna question. I'm gonna be like, you know, like what kind of spaceship? like
like, are we talking about the cartoons, the pointy oval?
we going Millennium
or...
Falcon, or like we Star Trek in this
Solo
bitch?
gonna give me a back rub on this spaceship.
You drink it. There's a bright ass light, and on the other side, you just hear.
That would be hilarious. But on a like back to what you said, I actually completely agree with Stokes about the mentally not mentally well issue because I took a criminology course and I actually studied Heaven's Gate. What is it called? I literally have a very
Mhm.
short term memory. Heaven's Gate. I just studied a lot of cults and actually wrote a paper on it. And the people that were surprisingly enough software engineers, uh, people with PhDs and masters and shit. Very, very smart people, but they were not mentally well. Like Stokes, you kind of sort of mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, cult leaders look for people that are easy to manipulate, and they're easy to make follow them without them thinking that they're just following blindly.
Oh yeah, definitely. But like,
They're very much manipulators, and they look for those type of people. They don't walk up to a regular person. They look for people in despair, people that are having big issues in their life, and they take advantage of that and get them to believe in what they're preaching.
Yeah, that's my vein is that you like anybody can be manipulated. Anybody about anything. It's really easy to do that. People who believe in vaccines are easily manipulated to believing that vaccines cause autism. Because you just need to tell them, and they just need to have a little bit of doubt, and just create a conspiracy theory about it, and boom, you got like a huge majority of people saying vaccines cause autism because somebody said so.
And I mean, while we're on this subject, I just want to throw it out there that, if you go to our Patreon and you subscribe to the $15 tier, you're sure to spot in the Holy Legion's form of heaven. So what there'll be fucking and weed and guns up there. So you definitely want to do that. I mean, I know your father just died, but trust me, you want to donate $30 then to assure your father's spot too.
Yeah, we're like the Catholic version of Cool Heaven. $30.
Yeah, cool
Yeah,
heaven. So we're like Scientology because you have to pay your way
yep.
in, but we're like Christian where we got the heaven, but it's cooler.
You literally get
We got
guns.
hooker.
I mean,
We're
what's better than
I
that?
mean we're going to say we're fucking regular heaven, and we're going to have poker, liquor, and hookers.
It's like hell, but with all the heaven
Yeah.
clouds and shit.
it's like
Jesus
it's like
smoking a joint.
metal. It's like metal heaven with that stole the virgin from whatever the fuck Muslims.
And the band, what is that? Murder Rape. It's going to be playing every
Oh
night.
yeah, murder rape.
Every night.
Rape
Murder
Murder is playing.
rape. No.
It's heavy metal. So if you like that, yeah, definitely. So we give $30 for rape murder. God, that's horrible.
May the goat bless you.
Disclaimer: paying our Patreon will not actually get you into heaven.
Cool heaven.
Cool heaven.
Clarification: paying to our Patreon will probably get you into hell.
Disclaimer: it'll probably get you into cool heaven. We just can't verify that yet.
We're working on it. We got the top guys on it.
Yeah, but we have to get a few people to drink some Kool-Aid, and then we'll have the test results in.
That's a completely different cult. That's
Yeah.
People's Church.
But it's not purple Kool-Aid. No, we'll be copyright. It's not purple Kool-Aid. I want to make this clear. We only serve tropical punch Kool-Aid.
Can I have orange?
No.
God damn it!
I don't know. We need to
Tropical
make sure we
punch.
get that guy from, I think it was Devil May Cry. So every time someone like gets into cooler heaven, he's like, "Welcome to cool heaven." You know, like instead of "Welcome to hell." Is that Devil May Cry or Dante's Inferno? I think it was Devil May Cry.
I think you're right. I can't really remember. It's been
Yeah, because Dante's Inferno is where he killed death. The king killed death or whatever. Yeah, okay. What's Devil May Cry?
No, like which Devil May Cry? I played like all of them.
I thought it was like 2 or 3. I thought.
I honestly can't remember how many years ago it's been since
Yeah.
I played that. So yeah.
But anyways, yeah, we'll figure out who it is, and we'll get into his DMs, and that's what you'll hear when you're introduced into cool heaven.
He says in a questionable voice, "Welcome to cool heaven." What?
We definitely need those Patreon dollars to get him for this. So
Because he'll do it for like $30.
oh shit, yeah.
Hey, $30.
God, I could have sworn it was from Dante's Inferno. I'm still stuck on that. Or not Dante's Inferno. Fuck.
Devil
Devil
May Cry. You just literally said it's not Dante's Inferno.
I know it's not. That was a good game though. That was dope.
I've never played it, but I really wanted to.
I remember playing it like I was like fucking 12 or some shit, and like, my mom wouldn't let me play GTA. Okay, so like the first 10 minutes of this game, there's like tits and shit, and you're killing death itself, and you're like, holy fuck, like you feel like you're metal as hell, dude. And then now you have shows like Game of Thrones, and you're like, oh, well that would have been easier. I still haven't watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I heard the ending wasn't that good.
The ending's supposed to be trash, but I don't know. That's one of those shows I never really wanted to watch. Probably going to piss a lot of people off, but it to me is just smut TV, and I'm not a fan.
Well,
Like, I mean, if it was just the plot, but like they throw the tits in there for the sake of tits.
they throw it in there for the sake of HBO.
Oh yeah,
They're like, you know what? What's this gonna air on HBO? All right, take your shirt off. Like, we're redoing the whole series.
What's that? There's like actual plot and actual character? Fuck.
yeah. I've heard there. No, I've heard there actually is.
Oh yeah,
and
it's supposed to be really good. Like, I want to watch it, but like every time I get to like, I think it's like the 3rd or 5th episode, and I see a brother fucking his sister, and I'm just like, I lose interest real quick.
See, that's what turns me on. I'm just like, yes. But, I mean, I understand your point of view, too.
I mean, like, I'm all about the taboo sex.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to, yeah. So we have official that Mac Power recommends the movie. What was that? I can't.
I thought you were
remember.
gonna
My brain's dead.
Sweet Home Alabama?
No.
What?
We talked about it earlier. The one about the guy
Serbian
that
film.
fucks children. Yeah. Okay. So Mac Power recommends the Serbian film to everyone, and brother sister porn turns them on.
I just
It's
recommend
been a good podcast.
Here's what you do, literally. Like, this will make you rethink everything. Just not like that, but here's one that's not like fucked up. This gets you on a real level with how fucking mean humans are in a sense. But just go watch Earth.
Go watch what?
It's not like a movie. It doesn't have a plot. It's just like this small, like, I think it's like 40-minute documentary. Watch Earth.
Oh, the slaughterhouse one.
Yeah, it's fucking it. Like, I don't know. I like animals more than like people. Okay, and that shit. Some of that shit brutal as hell.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've watched most of that. I don't think I've watched the whole thing through. I'm pretty sure I've seen most of it. And I mean, a lot of people, it turned them like vegan because they see all that brutality.
Oh, it turned me vegan. No, definitely not. Like, I fucking
No, but I know people that it has. I don't know. It leans me a lot to, like I said before, that organic and free range, not fucking that. But I don't know. I'm just not disgusted by that type of stuff. So I'm very jaded.
I'm not like, it's gonna sound weird. I'm not disgusted. I'm kind of like I'm mad just because I really have a thing for animals. Like, I love fucking animals.
Except
But
for
like,
snakes.
no, I love snakes actually. I wasn't like scared of the snake. I was just trying to get it off the porch because I didn't want to bite my dog.
So the real reason that he got the title the goat is because he likes to fuck them.
Only once.
Like, he really likes animals.
I only had sex. But I heard it's pretty easy. You just slip
It was a
boots.
pretty amazing thing to watch. So what he does, he just like grabs their back hooves and sticks them into his cowboy.
Yeah, that's what I'm
boots,
saying.
and
You just stick.
they
you
can't
slide
get
'em
away.
in. They got that nice like handlebars and the tail. You know, like.
Okay, so people are going to be wondering how we come up with that. That is not just something like that we thought of. We live in a very
I don't
rural
think
area.
I feel like people know. Like, I feel like that's the thing.
I don't know. I think if you're from a city, you don't know that stuff, because I've talked to people that come from Chicago, and they're always asking me like, "What? Why would you know that? How do you come up with that?"
Yeah.
No, if you live in a rural area, the accusation that's always going to be thrown around is that you fuck goats, and that is the system. I'm guessing someone's actually done it in the past, and that's how people know. But it's just kind of a widespread joke.
I'm not gonna give any names. I mean, I haven't really gave any names, but
Oh, I'm pretty sure I know someone that's done it.
I've known a few
but-
goat fuckers, and the weird thing is, and we can probably at least old cheekers here will know. But I've walked over, seen someone fucking a deer before. That's pretty close to a goat,
Yeah, if you said deer, I know who you're talking about.
and that's a little interesting. But
Yeah.
like, you know what? That's the thing. Like that's, I think, you know, like, I always wondered, like, you're talking to your parents and you come out and you're just like, you know what, Mom, Dad, I'm bi. You open up and they're just like, they're like coming out of the closet, if you will. And, you know, they get all pissed. They're super Catholic, teacher, whatever. And they're like, motherfucker, you know, that should be your response. Be like, well, I could be fucking a goat.
Damn straight.
Would you rather a goat over for
So-
dinner? Like,
For all our anyone that's in the closet thinking about coming out here soon, that's the response you tell your parents as soon as they start getting upset. I could be fucking a goat.
No,
You heard it here first.
this is that is a really good response if you must come out of the closet. But my here's my thought on the whole closet situation. Right? Why do you have to come out of the closet? It's nobody's fucking business. Like I don't go to
Yeah.
my parents and be like, guess what, guys? I have some. It's like gathering around. You might want to sit down for this, guys. I'm straight. Like nobody. You don't announce to the world that you're straight. Like I understand in a sense why.
Yeah, I understand that they want people to know what they are, like, because people generally just assume that everyone's straight, or at least the older generations. So they feel like they need to break that down and be honest with people around them. But I haven't had this conversation with anyone to really give my full input on it. But I've watched a few YouTubers and stuff, and like when they talk about it, when they came out, they said you just don't do it if you think you are in a situation where your parents will put you out on the street or anything like that. It's not fair. It's not right that you can't come out, but it's better than being put out on the street and being homeless. It may suck to not be able to be true to yourself from what you're thinking.
Well, yeah.
But if you can get yourself somewhere in life, like you get where you've been through school, you have your job and everything, and you can support yourself, then they can do nothing to hurt you. Like,
Well,
you
yeah.
may have to grit your teeth and not just directly tell them at that point in your life. It may suck.
And that doesn't come down to like you being at fault. That comes down to like let's say you did tell them and they did the worst possible scenario. That doesn't come down to you. That comes down to you have shitty parents. Okay.
Yeah, that's your
So you
parents.
just need to kiss ass and push to the point where you can move out and be like, you know what, fuck you guys. I can do and live my life.
I mean, think about it this way: if they're that shitty of people, you're kind of sticking it to them by lying to them and making them think that you're what they want you to be, and you're getting that free ride out of them.
Otherwise, why do you have to come
Yeah.
out? Why can't you just like like why not just let it happen?
Be yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be yourself around them. You don't necessarily have to directly confront them. Just be yourself.
Like, and if they're all like, "Wait, you didn't tell me you were gay," be like, "Oh, well, I didn't think I had to tell my parents that I was sexually attracted to the same sex." Like, that's not something. Like, if you actually think about it, if anybody's just like,
It's a really weird thing to
Yeah.
do. Like that you would even feel the need. Not saying you're weird if you like want to be honest and tell people.
"Oh yeah, have
But
at
it's,
it."
it's a weird thing that you'd be pressured into thinking that you had to. It's a weird thing from society's point.
Yeah,
not
because in
your own.
reality, like 100%, like truthfulness, it's none of their fucking business.
Yeah, you're just doing you. But that was actually a really good little, not really preachy, but like a really good feel good thing to end the podcast on. We've been going for about an hour and a half, so a little bit over, but we had some good conversations. Yeah, definitely would love having you back on, Max. Had some good conversations. I think we still have more to talk about, so
Oh fuck, he's gay.
yeah, for free and
No.
want to get on.
I'd love to be back on. Yes.
But I guess we'll probably wrap it up there. You heard us talk about our Discord. Definitely check us out there. We have been approved on Spotify, Public Radio, Deezer, Castbox, YouTube, all that shit. Still pending for Apple, but I'm sure that'll go through here soon. But yeah, definitely check out our Patreon, and all the support helps there. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe. If you're on iTunes, 5-star reviews help. YouTube comments, all that good shit. Any little bit that you can do, we appreciate a lot. But I guess this is the end. Bye.
Yep.
No one else is doing a retarded bye.
No, that was it.
Okay.
Bye.
I think you said enough.
All right, I'm ending mine.